Thank you very much. Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much for being here today. Oh, sorry, didn't know it was gonna be that loud. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your evenings to come here and talk to us today. We really appreciate it. My name is Christian Capretta. I'm here with Abigail Breckner. She's back there. We're two Heritage Home Program loan associates. And today we're here to talk to you about our program, what we can offer in the community. We offer two sectors of our organization. We have technical assistance, which is free assistance that every homeowner in your community is entitled to. We also have opportunities for low interest financing, which we'll discuss later on in the presentation. Before we get into the details of the Heritage Home Program, I want to talk to you about our parent organization a little bit. We operate out of the Cleveland Restoration Society, which is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 1972 and is the largest non-governmental regional historical preservation organization in Ohio. We operate with over $1 million budget, and we have 16 full-time employees and 5 part-time professionals working in the organization. And we operate in the Midtown neighborhood in Cleveland on Prospect, and it's a beautifully restored home, actually the Sarah Benedict house. It's a restored home from back in the day when there's a lot of big mansions, Millionaires Row down in that area. And our organization mission is preserving, protecting, and celebrating historic buildings in places that foster vibrant and inclusive communities. And the Heritage Home Program is one of the ways that the Cleveland Restoration Society accomplishes that goal. And the Heritage Home Program has been around, the Heritage Home Program's been around since 1992 for over 30 years. Okay, so one way we help preserve our legacy of older housing and historic housing is through our positive reinvestment, the increase in property values that our program helps to provide, and helps establish investor confidence in your area, and also brings in general neighborhood stability. And we'll get into those ideas later on in the presentation. You don't have to take our word for it. You can take the word of a Cleveland State University professor who did 2 studies throughout the early 2000s. The first was in 2006, and really what they found is that there's a disproportionate increase in values for homes that utilize the Heritage Home Program, as well as homes within a 1/10 of a mile of a home that was worked on with the program. The same professor came back in 2013 and did a study as well, and this was about the housing crisis. And what they found is that homeowners that use the Heritage Home Program stayed in their houses longer and had 1/10 the rate of foreclosure compared to the Cuyahoga County average. So, what are the general eligibility requirements to work with the Heritage Home Program? The first is that your house has to be at least 50 years old. It just needs to be 50 years old, and the year for that would be 1975 at this point. The home does not need to be deemed historic at all. It just needs to be 50 years or older. And we can only assist homeowners in residential properties. So it must be zoned residential, and it must be 3 units or less. We also work with condominiums, so those are also eligible within the program. And our program operates in more than 40 cities. I think we're up to 48 at the moment. But there's a full list of these on our website, which I'll provide that address later on in the presentation. So like I was discussing earlier, we have 2 sectors of our program we have. We have the free technical assistance and advice on home maintenance and improvement projects, which I'm going to speak to you about today. And then Abigail will talk to you about the low interest financing and homeowner representative services that we offer as well. So what is technical assistance? Technical assistance is one of the real key pieces of our program, and it is impartial advice and resources that homeowners can use to help in restoring their properties. Our focus with technical assistance is to minimize homeowner anxiety over maintenance issues and to also discuss remedies for how to get your home back in order or how to restore it correctly or to the proper period. We have a preservation approach when talking to homeowners, but we also understand that there are modern needs in older homes, and we're very much willing to work with that and are cognizant of that as well. And we're going to go over the different ways we can help you do that. There aren't just calls and emails. So one of the foundations of our program is site visits. These are really, really popular. This is a 30-minute consultation where a construction specialist will come out to your home and they will discuss any potential projects or issues that you would like to bring up with them. Generally, they walk around the home, they walk around the outside and the inside. They'll talk to you about what are the items you might need to have done. If you already have an idea of what you want to get done and you just need some advice on site, that is something they also are fantastic at offering. These site visits are really popular, and we can help you prioritize projects. If you have a few different projects in your home you'd like to get done, you're not exactly sure how to attack that, we're very happy to send a construction specialist out to you to talk about that and to help you prioritize the items on your list so you know which order to proceed in. We're also happy to talk to you about energy efficiency and how you can help bring your home into a more energy efficient state, as well as just general updating and any kind of other advice you might request. These can be done at your home via phone call or a video chat. Sometimes our home visits are really booked out ahead. Sometimes it's like, a couple weeks booked out. And if you'd like something a little sooner, we're usually able to fit a phone call or usually a Zoom visit, much faster than an actual site visit. But still, I would really recommend sometimes taking the wait for the actual site visit. It's really, really nice. Another program that we offer is color consultations. This is when a member of our staff will come out to your home, assess the exterior of your home, and help you narrow down color options for your home, as well as go over the best placement of trim and accent colors to really make your home pop. It's really going to bring a lot of style and a lot of front-facing value to your home. We help the homeowners update their colors. We help go through many different color palettes. I've been on one of these before. It's really enjoyable. Usually a construction specialist will come out to talk to you about this as well because they're very up to date with this. But we'll go over what are your preferred color options. What are you really looking to go for with the general purpose of your home. We'll also look around the neighborhood, kind of see what would fit in nicely with the other homes around. And then we'll go back to the office, assess this for you for a few days, look over some color palettes, and send you a few different types. Then we have some choices, then we can go back and forth with some feedback about that as well. We also have a bunch of contractor resources with our program. We've been around for a long time, so we've been working in the area for a substantial amount of time. We've accrued a lot of resources and contractor names of reliable contractors in the area. This is a really great part of the program. We have a small database of contractors who we've worked with over many years. And we always take notes about how the projects we work with them go. We prioritize based on that, and we send homeowners, contractors in their area. So we usually send about 3 to 5 names per trade that you request. And this will be done after a site visit, or if you'd like to request it without a site visit, that's fine as well. We also do estimate reviews, which is a really, really important part of our program. Estimates are a contractual document between you and your contractor, and it's really important to spell out exactly what's going to be going on in your project before you move forward with it so that you're not disappointed or misled with what is going to be occurring in your project. This is where our construction specialists can do a really fantastic job of looking through the fine details and helping you make sure that estimate has all the right language in it to get the exact project that you want to be completed. That's a really fantastic part of our program. As a loan associate, I work with projects that have gone through with the loan, and this is a required process in that. We always have the construction specialists look over the estimates because we want to make sure the project is completed as smoothly as possible. But regardless of a loan, that service is still really valuable for anyone doing a project with their home. We also offer restoration guidance. This isn't quite as popular. Not as many people are interested in making their home period specific, but we also do offer these, and we're very happy to work with them. In this example, you can see this homeowner had aluminum siding, and there were many contractors telling them to either paint the aluminum siding or replace it with vinyl. And they decided they wanted to reach out to our organization just to kind of get an idea of what we might be able to offer. So after we had a construction specialist go out and assess the property, we told them it might be worthwhile to remove some of the siding just to see what's underneath, as a lot of the homes in their area had cedar siding underneath, and it was likely that there would be a lot of usable cedar siding underneath. And it turns out that was the case. The homeowner only ended up having to repair 10% of the siding, and the rest of it was just small repairs and painting. And as you can see, the restoration was fantastic, and it really brings life to the home, really makes it vibrant and pop from the street. We also offer many educational presentations on our YouTube page. This is accessible. You can just go on YouTube, type in the Heritage Home Program, or you can go on our website and we'll link you directly to the YouTube page. We have many presentations on here: historic districts, maintaining your home's exterior, energy efficiency, Rehab 101. We have plenty of presentations on here, and we've been working to update those as well. We also have a preservation toolbox. This is a really great list of online resources where you can find information about general rehab, window repair, historic districts, maintaining your older home. This is another part of how you can get some of those information. So I definitely recommend checking out our website and looking out some of this preservation toolbox material. And then this is our website, www.heritagehomeprogram.org. You can go ahead to our website, and there's a couple things you could do here. You can schedule a site visit directly on the website. You'll be able to see when our next available site visit is. And if you're having any trouble with that, please feel free to just shoot us an email or give us a call. When you do call, please leave a voicemail because we work from a queue-based system. We have a small staff covering 48 cities in the area. We have a great system, but it does require that homeowners leave a voicemail so we can get back to them as soon as possible. It also lists our minimum design standards so that you can go through that, see what would be eligible for the program, and Abigail will get a little bit more into that when she talks about the loan and the eligibility requirements, but they're also available on the website. You can look at the upcoming events we have. Obviously, we had this one today, but we also have, I think actually for the season, we're kind of winding down, but in the spring and the fall, we have a really heavy presentation schedule. And a lot of those are, near here. Like we have different presentations in different geographical spots so that many different cities can come and view the presentation. So please feel free to keep an eye out for that. And we also have our documentation and loan and applications that are available to download on the website. So with that, technical assistance is the heart and soul of the Heritage Home program. We really encourage every homeowner to use it. Your cities join the program, and these are free services to you. So we really encourage you to use it. We also offer low interest financing, which I'm going to let Abigail talk about right now. Thank you very much for having me. We'll be available to take questions after the presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Christian. All right. This is the financing portion, which I think is what brings a lot of people in. So we do have two portions to this. We have that low interest financing, which is 1.4%, and that's for Cleveland, but the surrounding suburbs are going to be 2%. And then I'll go into all the different design standards and projects that will qualify. But the other part that we offer is homeowner representative services. So that's if you have the funds to do your project, you don't need financing, but you'd still like to work with us and go through the same process, have the protections of our contracts, work with our construction specialists to review your estimates so that you have a little bit more of that security. You can put your funds with us in escrow and we can pay your contractor just the same as a loan. So I'll go into that a little bit more in just a little bit. So the eligibility requirements are going to be very similar to the technical assistance. You need to have a home that's 50 years or older and be in a participating community. But on top of that, there are some more qualifications in order to get the loan. One is that your home needs to be insured. You also have to have equity in your home. So if you just purchased your home and don't have a lot of equity, you might need to wait a little while and build that up. You also need to be current on your property taxes. The tax payment plan isn't an option anymore. You definitely need to be up to date on your property taxes. And then one or less existing lien on your property. So the loan can come in as the first or the second lien, but nothing after that. So if you already have a mortgage or a HELOC, those would count as liens as well. So just be mindful of that. And this is perhaps one of the most important parts of it. Your project cannot have started already. So if you've already completed your project or if you're in the middle of a project, the loan would not be able to assist or apply to that project, which I can talk more about in just a second. So people ask a lot what projects qualify, and sometimes it's easier to talk about the projects that don't qualify because so many projects qualify. The biggest no-no for us is vinyl siding and vinyl windows. As Christian mentioned, we are a historic preservation-based organization, and just historically for homes, especially 50 years or older, vinyl products just weren't used and they're just not appropriate for those buildings. If you currently have vinyl siding or vinyl windows, you're not prohibited from using it. You just can't use the loan funds to put new vinyl siding or new vinyl windows on your home. We just want to be conscious and we want to make sure that you are putting a high quality product on your home that's going to last a while and you're investing in that. So that's one thing we do not allow. Luxury items, so if you want to install a swimming pool, tennis court, things of that nature, those would not qualify. Non-built-in appliances, this is a little bit, I don't think it's clear for some people, but if it's something that you could take with you when you move, then that likely would not qualify. But if it's built in, again, we're trying to invest in the long-term value of your home, and we want to make sure it's something that's going to stay there. So if it's, a built-in microwave, built-in fridge, built-in stove, like a oven, those would qualify. Otherwise, we can apply for the installation of other appliances that aren't built in, but we can't pay for the appliances themselves or with the loan. Pest removal, again, that's not something long-term. That's something you have to do on a somewhat regular basis. Landscaping other than tree removal. So if you have a home or if you have a tree that is pending any danger that it could fall on your home or a neighbor's home or cause any damage. We also can help with grading. So for waterproofing, if you need some help with that, the loan could also cover that. Fencing does not qualify. And then no other outbuildings other than a garage. We consider other accessory units to be more of a luxury, so those wouldn't qualify. And then again, we like to emphasize this, projects that are currently in progress or have been completed do not qualify. A little bit of a soundtrack here, don't we? So we do permit additions. This is something people ask quite often. There is a little bit more to it than just our standard process. So if you're interested in addition, we'd be happy to go in more depth with you. We have this sheet that we'd be happy to send to you. But as a general rule of thumb, if you would like to do an addition, it just needs to be typically on the back of the home or on the side, not super visible from the street. You know, we're trying to limit the impact that these changes are making visually from the street. So if it's small and if it is sympathetic to the design of your current home, those are typically going to be approved. So you can't do something that's, you know, more than doubling the size of your home and looks completely different from your current home. That would not typically qualify. But if you want to send us drawings that you have, we'd be happy to look at those and provide any input for you. So yes, they do apply, are approved. So the whole process here, we try to make it as straightforward as possible. There are a lot of steps, but we're here to guide you through it all. So first, optional is the site visit that Christian talked to you about, where we can have a construction specialist come out, talk to you about your projects, help you prioritize. If you already know, hey, I need a new roof, that's what needs to be done. You don't need to talk to anyone. There's no need for a site visit. You can just skip on to the second step, which is obtaining those estimates. You absolutely have to have estimates when you apply because we need something to review and to approve. So if you don't have estimates, let us know if you need contractors. We'd be happy to send you some people from our database, like Christian mentioned. But once you have your estimates, you can go ahead and submit those to us with your application for review. We'll go ahead then and review it, make sure it complies, and then we will send you to the bank. And you will go through that banking process. This application timeline is maybe a little bit more idealistic. I would say, depending on the project, bigger projects are going to take longer for us to review. But on average, I would say it takes at least 2 to 3 weeks for us to review a project after you've submitted it to us. And then the banking process takes about 30 to 45 days. So from application to funding, I usually tell people 2 to 3 months is generally realistic. And that's, you know, if you've got everything together and you're working through each step, you know, you can kind of set your pace at that point. But I'll get into a little bit more once we talk about the banks. But while I'm here on the process, I just wanted to also note that we are anticipating changes to our program in the new year. So if you're interested in that 2% rate, you definitely get in your application and your estimates as soon as possible. We're encouraging early December, like I said, so we have time to review your estimates and get you sent to the bank. You do need to apply at the bank by the end of the year to secure that 2%. You don't need to, you know, finish your project or go through the entire banking process or anything. You just need to apply with the bank by the end of the year. And I'll go into that a little more detail. But while we're here, just so you're keeping this in mind, if you're thinking, oh, I want that 2%, maybe, unless you aren't sure what projects you need to do and you need that site visit, we might encourage you to just go ahead and just get us your estimates, get us your application. Let's go ahead and get this process started so that we can get you in for that 2%. So this is a specialty loan. The funds will be placed in escrow with us. So once you are funded, you sign at the bank. The bank sends the funds to us and we hold them at our office in escrow. And then we send you contracts. So you and your contractor will complete a contract with us. And payments will be made directly to your contractor from us with your approval. We will always make sure that you're in the loop We ask for your permission for every payment, but we will be the ones that make the payment to your contractor. So if you're talking with someone right now and you want to let them know that you're using our program, is typically helpful. That way they're a little bit aware of what they're getting into. Most contractors are great working with us. A lot of people have worked with us, but if they have any questions about what that looks like, we'd be happy to talk with them. You can choose your own contractors. Again, we'd be happy to provide you names, but you definitely don't have to use anyone from our database. You just need to make sure that your contractor is licensed and insured. We're going to ask for their W-9, their certificate of insurance, workers' compensation, unless they're sole proprietors. And it's really important that they're able to pull permits with your city, which means they need to be registered in your city. This isn't anything that's like above and beyond or bizarre. It really, any organized company would have these documents. So it might feel a little bizarre asking for them for some people, but it really should be things that they have. So yes, so KeyBank is the bank that we work with. And like I mentioned, currently they are offering 1.4% for Cleveland, 2% for the surrounding suburbs. But as I mentioned, we are anticipating that to change. And people keep asking what the numbers are going to be. We don't know yet. We just know it's not going to be lower likely. So again, if you're interested in that 2%, we encourage you to get that in. Minimum loan amount is going to be $3,000. Maximum is $150,000. If your project is more than $150,000, you can still apply, up to that 150 max. You'll just need to use another source to make up that difference. And we do ask that the loan funds be used to close out the project. So if your project's $200,000, the first $50,000 will be paid with another source. And then that last $150,000 we'll use to close out the project. And that's just to ensure project completion, in an agreement with the counties and the cities. We want to make sure that your projects are completed and your whole scope of work that you set out to do is completed. So we just want to make sure we make that final payment and we get it good to go. 5 to 10 year terms, I usually see about 8 to 10 years on average. And there are no income limits for the county. Also a bunch of information here that you can just read on your own, but there's no prepayment penalties. If you want to pay off your loan early, feel free to do so. Again, they're escrowed with us. You need to meet the lending guidelines, which if you're curious about, what does my credit score need to be and all of that, we can put you in touch with someone at the bank. That's the banking side of things. So we aren't as aware of what their exact terms are, but we'd be happy to put you in touch with someone. And what's really interesting and cool about this is that the loan is based on equity after appraisal value. So it's not based on your current home value, but it's based on what that project will increase your value to. So you could potentially have more of a borrowing power. And then there are fees associated with this loan. We have a 3.5% fee that is applied for our services. And then there are additional origination fees that the bank has along with the appraisal and all of that. And that's rolled into your loan. So you'll make payments on the whole total. It's not, you don't have to pay, an appraisal or escrow fees up front. It'll just be rolled into your loan. We do have a fact sheet. This is a part of the information packet. This page is the very last page of that information packet. So if you signed in today or if you signed up, you'll get a copy of this. It's also on our website. So it's available for you, but it's really helpful just to see all the breakdown and all the numbers and details. And then again, that homeowner representative services that I mentioned at the beginning, I won't go into a lot of detail on this, but it's basically you skip the step of going to apply at the bank and you have the money and you put it into escrow and you still get all of the same benefits. We would still act as your escrow agent. You would still get those contractual protections. You would get the 1-year warranty that comes with those contracts. And, we also resolve any unforeseen challenges. So we always encourage you and your contractor to work things out together. But if you're at a standstill and you're having troubles or anything comes up, we're always there to step in, help you out. And the escrow fees are still applied to that since, you are still using our services. We do still have that fee applied. So the very end of the project, so you went through all of those, all those steps. We need those final city inspections if required. And then once you get those, there is a final walkthrough at the very end. We don't have any walkthroughs or anything in the middle of your project. It's just one at the very end of the project, just to make sure everything was completed, you're satisfied. You sign off our completion form, and we make your final payment to your contractor, and you're good to go. You might see the word retainer there, which I don't think we talked about before, but we do hold a 10% retainer on labor for contractors. So again, that's maybe something you want to let your contractor know about. Most of them are totally fine with it, but it is just an incentive for them to finish the project or any punch list items that you might have at the end. We want to make sure that we have a little bit in reserve, so that way if, again, something happens or something's not completed to your satisfaction, we make sure everything is good to go, completed and passed, and then we release the full final payment. So real quickly, we'll just flip through some previous projects to give you an idea of some projects people have done. And then again, at the end, we'll have room or time for questions. So this homeowner here used our color consultation and used our database to get a few names for exterior painting contractors, and they had their home repainted. And it just pops and looks like it added a little bit of curb appeal, which is beautiful. HVAC systems are really popular. A lot of older homes have older mechanicals that need updating, and that's something that we can help with. This person actually had enough to pay for part of it, but not all of it, which again is an option. So if you want to borrow a portion, you can, and then use your own funds for the rest. Bathroom remodels. I personally like the older pink tiles, but not everyone does. And we're here just to let you, your home, your choice. So if you want to update the interior to your liking, there's no restrictions on materials or design of the interior of your home. So really, if it's on the inside, you can pretty much do whatever is to your liking. This is a very small addition, but it was just a little bit of a bump out that really added a lot of square footage for their daily routine. They had enough space for shoes and backpacks, and just kind of helped open up that space a little bit and provide a little bit more room for them. This is a interior model. So if you have a space that you would like to finish, that could qualify. Typically, like if your whole home is like down to the studs, the bank doesn't typically like to lend on something like that, but we can help you finish like an attic or a basement. This was a huge project. These homeowners decided to convert their garage into a livable space. And they did a ton of interior remodeling. So pretty much anything you can think of as far as remodeling, bathrooms, kitchens, all of it, they did it. Garages are probably one of our most popular. This is the only place that all of vinyl siding is allowed if it's on a detached garage. And that's because it doesn't affect your home as much. And a lot of contractors only have vinyl offerings for garages. So if you want to do a garage project, that's the only spot that vinyl will be permitted. So if you need a new garage, that would qualify. Driveways also are really popular. That would qualify. Solar panels are kind of a newer option, but it's something that some people are taking advantage of. And again, this we would just not want to be visible from the street. So if it's on the side or the back of your home, likely we would go ahead and approve that. And then these homeowners really liked our program and they used it 3 times. So if you really love our program, you can use it multiple times. You just need to pay off your loan before you can start the next. But the first loan, they did mechanicals and bathrooms and drywall and floors. And then they got a second loan and did a kitchen remodel, siding repairs, exterior paint. And then the third one, they finished their attic, then finished their basement, and they did some insulation. So definitely we've been around, like Christian said, over 30 years. So some people have been using our program for a while and enjoying it. We've done a lot of lot of technical assists, and a lot of loans. And yeah, I think we're up to like 48 cities now. So we are growing. And I think that's the end there. So we've got our phone number, our website, and I don't know if Christian mentioned, but you can stop by our office as well, but we're only in office Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So if you want to make an appointment, that's usually the best route of action. Don't come to us on a Thursday or Friday because no one will be there. But yes, please call, leave a voicemail. We'll get back to you. It just might take a little bit of time. Same thing goes for an email. Just be patient with us. We've got a lot of interested homeowners right now, so it'll take some time, but we will get back to you. So thanks so much for listening to all that. I know it was a lot of information, but if you have any questions right now, we'd be happy to answer those. Otherwise, yeah, feel free to call us. Yes, go ahead. That's interesting. From well to city water. I don't know if I've ever done that before. I feel like I haven't done that either. It's a great question. Yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll have you do sign in. We'll take your info and we can definitely get an answer for you on that one. But I don't know why they wouldn't. Yeah, yeah, good question. Yes. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So the more estimates, the better, more or less for your benefit, just to kind of compare and contrast. But we only require one. So if you have one estimate, you feel comfortable with that estimate or that contractor, we'll review it. That's all we need. I know it's difficult for some people to even get one estimate sometimes, so it's definitely not required to have two or three or however many. But if you're able, the more the better. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, so updating in what kind of a way, like relaying the brick or, okay, yeah. Yeah, because I know typically we do permit stamped concrete patios, and I think if they already had it, we could replace it, but we just can't put in new like pavers. Yeah. 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 And on in that same vein, decks, we are not that does not qualify. So if you want to build a new deck, it doesn't qualify. Just so you know, if you're wondering about that. Um, any other questions? Those were great questions. Yes. Yes, yeah. If you already have something like, pavers or a deck, we do allow repairs on it. It's just building something that's not already there. It's not something we could assist with. Hmm. Yes. No, that's a great question. I must have skipped that in my presentation. I don't remember talking about the home value limits. So yes, there are home value limits, 550,000 and less, and this is based on the tax value on the county auditor's website. So it's My Place. You go on there, type in your address, you'll see for the tax year. We Again, for 550,000 or less, we can do interior or exterior, 750,000 or less, or sorry, between 550 and 750 exterior only. Over 750, we're not able to assist you. And the appraisal value does not play into that at all. It is just the tax value, and the value after none of that applies. It's just 2024 tax value at this point. I'm glad you asked. Yeah. Sorry, yes, it's very confusing. So if your home, again, tax value, go to My Place to double check that. But if it's 550 or less, there's no restriction. You can do interior or exterior projects. If your home is valued between 550 and 750, exterior projects only. And then above 750, would not qualify for the program. Yeah, technical assistance, sorry. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, technical assistance would still, you're still welcome to use it as part of a participating community. It's the loan. You're not allowed to apply for the loan. You would not be eligible. Yes. Mm, I feel like that might be more interior. So when we talk about exterior, it's more like a roof, a driveway, a garage, siding, work like that would be more exterior. Sorry? Windows, yeah. As long as they're not vinyl. Excellent. Yes. Yes. So once you start the bank process, they will get you an appraiser. The appraiser will come out and yep, they'll let you know. Mhm. Yes. 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 The bank has an additional origination fee, appraisal fee, and I'm not exactly sure what all their fees are, but they've got, yeah, their own set of fees. Yeah, that information packet, which I guess I could flip back to if it doesn't make anyone too nauseous. You might want to look away or let flip really quickly. Oh, there it is. There you go. So there's the let's see here. Appraisal fee average would be 420 to 470, and then there's that 3.5% is ours, and then origination fee is 295. So, yep. Yes.
So if we're providing our own funding, I
Mm-hmm.
was really interested in your consult where you walk the property
Mm-hmm.
and the idea that you have a contract.
Mm-hmm.
What is your fee to provide those?
Yeah. So are you interested in putting, like using the homeowner representative services where you would put your money in with us or just because if you just want a site visit, you just want us to review your not application, your estimates, and provide contractor resources, that's all part of our free technical assistance. But if you decide that you would like to put your money into escrow, we pay your contractor, we, send you the contracts, yeah, the site visits, all of that, then that 3.5% escrow management fee comes into play. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all great questions. We got more. Okay. Yeah. Yes, with the bank. Yes. 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 Yeah. 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 We're getting close, very close. So, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's ideal. Obviously, it's into your benefit too to have your scope of work 100% set and the contractor and the amount set before you go to the bank. It's not impossible or uncommon for someone to switch, contractors in the bank phase or even, after they receive their loan for any number of reasons, people change contractors. It just might, as long as the scope of work is the same, we can continue. It's just, if the price ends up being more than you were anticipating, then that difference would need to be made up by you just because, yeah, sorry.
Get a whole patient and the estimate and all this done by these people.
So to be completely honest, I don't know about all of that. So if you want to do a site visit, I think we're booking into early December at this point. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Definitely. So we're kind of at the stage of the game where, definitely start gathering those estimates and get them into us as soon as possible. We want to be as realistic as possible. We want everyone to get the loan, but we also want you to be fully aware. That way you're not putting in a lot of effort and then, disappointed. We just want you to know, again, we do take about 3 weeks or so to review, and then we need to be able to review it before we can send you to the bank. So, like I said, if you can get it to us by early December, that's great. If you're still scrambling at the end, still reach out to us and we'll do our best. We just, obviously can't guarantee anything. Mhm.
So if you're thinking most kind of projects that easily get an estimate for, get an application in by the end of the year, those projects are going to be a real quick turnaround time,
Mhm.
whereas addition might be pushing a little bit.
Mhm. Definitely, yeah. So maybe just pick and choose. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. Especially since we need drawings for additions, which can take designers or builders a little bit of time to create. So if you don't even have drawings yet, you're really getting close, but. Mhm.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Great. All right. Well, I think, okay, well, we'll take one more. Yeah, no. Yeah, so again, it's ideal to have your information, as set as possible, specifically the scope of work. So if the scope of work is set, but you're maybe switch contractors, that's not the end of the world. We could, still work with you on that. But as close as possible is ideal, just because then the pricing might change and things like that. But yeah, if you have one, still send it in. Again, we're doing our best too. We want everyone to.
Now, flat loan, then get your second estimate, you want to proceed
Mhm.
more.
Yes.
If you're buying, you're okay with covering the difference.
Mhm. Yeah. And going off of that too, so we suggest to homeowners in general, but especially now, to include, as your contractor, to include a contingency. So it could be 10 to 20% of the project total, as a buffer. So that way, if there's any unforeseen circumstances or anything happens, anything changes, you have like a little bit of a buffer built in. So just ask them to create a line item that just says like 10% contingency, and then the bank, because the bank is going to look at the estimate amount, and that's the amount they're going to base the loan off of. So put in a contingency, and then you have a little bit of a buffer in there. It's something that we recommend, especially if you're not super sure. And then if you borrow more than you actually need, any leftover funds can be returned to the bank towards the principal balance of your loan. So it's always, I guess, better to get a little bit more and then have to return it and then need more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you mean rules on finance? Like which ones? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we approve. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's interesting. So we approve the project side of things. So we will let you know if your project is approved. But as far as the financing part of it goes, that's the bank's decision. They'll look at, like I said, the appraisal value, your debt to income ratio, the credit score, all of that is a bank decision. And they'll reach out to us too, and they'll say, did you approve this project? So we approve the project, they approve the financial side of it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Anytime you're opening walls or anytime you're doing anything with an older home, honestly, there's definitely a margin for uncertainty. So that would be part of the contingency. Once you go through the banking process, you sign at the bank, that amount is set. So you cannot add anything to that amount. So it's definitely good to be thinking in advance, definitely get the contingency. And then you would have that little bit of a buffer, hopefully. So, yeah. Mhm. So we haven't had a reset in a really long time. I think it's been like, yeah, yeah, a really long time. So yeah, it's a big change for all of us, honestly. We're all learning as we go here, but yeah. Yep. I think we'll wrap it up. But if you have any other questions, you can feel free. Christian and I will hang out for a little bit longer. So if you have any individual questions, you can feel free to come up to us. But again, we really appreciate you guys coming out. If you have questions, email, call us. We'll do our best to get to you as soon as possible. So thanks so much.